Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday night. It's John and Ben. Batten down the hatches. You've had your serene chill out pre-roll. Now it's time to blow the doors off. It's all in.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Well,
I think I'm going crazy.
Don't think I'll get home safely. Anyway, no, we're not
So
late.
I'm taking 6 shots,
not
all
late.
straight to the face.
RSR.
No.
I don't know why you think we're late. We started on time because the intro is not part of the pre-roll. The intro is the
Part of the
intro.
show.
Yeah.
Part of the show.
Part of the show.
Yeah.
Cheers, big ears.
Well, yeah. Cheers with this diet caffeine-free Coke.
Your choice, mate. Your choice. So,
I would have had Red Bull.
Benji boy, how'd you get on last night with your pal Brent? Say your new go-to buddy.
Are you worried? Are you feeling intimidated? Do you think you might get replaced, John?
You can't replace me.
Yeah.
Do I look worried?
So, first of all, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
How is everybody in the chat? I hope you are well, no matter what platform you are watching on. Welcome to, as John said, Chasing Dissent All In. What episode are we on, John?
This is
Say
episode...
It. Say it. Say it.
33. Should have made myself up with a black eye, shouldn't I? That would have been better.
Yeah, or I should have come out just with one eye covered.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got the ability to do it. The chat's already going off.
Thank you, Shalini.
Freemason. Oh, dearie me. So yeah, actually,
What
you're absolutely. So let's have a little dissection then, right? First of all, I want to say something, and I think our Adam might disagree with me on this, but having actually spent time having that conversation last night and a little chat before, and we had a dissection afterwards as well. We had a little chat afterwards before I came and spoke to you.
Can you bring your mic in a wee bit?
So we had a little dissection after you. I think the man is genuine. I think the man genuinely believes he wants to do good. He believes everything he says, and I think he's coming from a place of complete honesty on his part. Okay, I do. So if people want to have a go at me for that, and I've got other people such as Charlotte, who was in the chat last night, who says the same thing. She thinks he's genuine, she thinks he's honest, and he's coming from a place of honesty. And do you know what? I enjoyed the conversation because I enjoyed having my belief system challenged, and I enjoyed watching somebody have their belief system, somewhat challenged. And I didn't give him too hard a time, I don't think. What do you think?
I don't think you gave him too hard a time,
no.
No. It's all very well to be genuine. We all tend to be genuine, I think, generally, right? Unless you set out to be deliberately disingenuous. But most people are genuine. But it doesn't make it better if you're still doing wrong.
Okay. Expand on that.
No, I'm not saying this isn't about Brent. This is just about general. And this actually goes back to like Mark Changizi's theory, where doing evil, even with the best of intentions, is still doing evil.
And I raised that point last night, and I think I raised it eloquently enough. But and you know what? I did see some concession. Vaughan says I told him he did a good job last night, and he's still self-praising. Well, but you know what? I think I did a good enough job. And I don't really think there was a job to do. I think it was just a conversation two people were having, and we were both coming from different perspectives. But I think we both at least brought authenticity to the conversation that we had. And the point that I made last night is something that I will reiterate here. People have, will accuse us of being this, that, or the other, purely because we will reach out across any aisle and speak to anyone we see fit. But first of all, we decide who we talk to. That's up to us. That's up to me and John. And we had this discussion. Did we want to have this conversation? Didn't we, John? And I said, I definitely did. And I want to have the conversation with Anna Brees when she finally books a date. And anyone else that would like to reach out across the aisle. The second point that I want to make is that I don't have these conversations for gotcha moments. I don't have them to be out there debates. I don't have them for sensational clips that we can take and, get likes and retweets of. I genuinely want to know what these people believe. I genuinely want to know if there's flaws in their belief. And I genuinely want to have a conversation. And Brent, if you do watch this or you are watching this, I'll go for a drink with you. I think you're an all right guy. At the end of the day, you can differ in opinion, but you don't have to argue with one another. And you don't have to hate one another, and you don't have to attack one another.
Yeah.
You can carry on.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with you, Ben. I think you put that quite eloquently. What I would say is, what is happening though, and is it just in Twitter? Is it just in social media, or is it happening in the wider world? Because it does seem to be spilling over. And what gets me is, where's the middle ground anymore? Because nobody seems to be, apart from us, nobody seems to be in the middle ground. Everybody either seems to be, they call themselves far left or far right. You know, they seem to have extreme views. And the thing is, when you have extreme views, it's very hard to walk back from those extreme views. You know, and then have common ground with someone from I hate using sides, the other side, right? Because the way things are going, these people are they're both as extreme as each other, and it's wrong. You know, it seems to be that people are setting themselves against others for no good reason. It's like, and you can't argue with these people. You couldn't argue with them about medical treatments and interventions, right? You couldn't really argue with them, because no matter how much you try and show someone the science or you know, the facts or whatever, or what you perceive as the facts, it doesn't work. You don't convince people like that, right? And these people are coming from such an entrenched position that they will brook no argument. And the same thing happens with the conflagration that's going on just now in Europe. You know, people will brook no argument. They firmly believe, that one particular side is winning over the other, right? Regardless of what side it is, you know? And the thing is, they deliberately don't go and seek information that's readily available. And in today's information age, information is so readily available, there is no excuse for being this lazy and being this entrenched, other than being deliberately and willfully ignorant.
No, I absolutely hear what you're saying, but I think there is a degree of, and I touched on this last night, I think there's a degree of thanks to, and Spencer says online anonymity, but thanks to just being terminally online, shall we say.
Yeah.
It's cult-like behavior. We are seeing cult-like behavior. And that's not just within the people over on the other side. I hate using that term as well.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you come from.
It doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah. It's cult-like behavior regardless of what side or what party or anything that you support.
It's issue-based cult-like behavior, where people take an extreme position on one issue, and even if that position is wrong, they're not going to let it up, and anybody that tries to show them evidence to the contrary, they could be right, but even if they're, let's argue for a minute that they're wrong on this issue, they will rather attack and destroy the person than accept the information coming from the person. And this is cult-like behavior. This is our belief system cannot, our orthodoxy, our dogma cannot be challenged. And like you said, this is on all sides. This is on the left, this is on the right, this is on the pro-treatment, the anti-treatment, right? All of these people, they have, and I think places like Twitter and Mastodon and all of these other ones, they're creating these bubbles. People are putting themselves in these bubbles. They're blocking out anyone who says anything counter to the contrary. And so they're just being sort of, they're going round in this massive cycle of the shit that they're believing just being propped up. And it's, like I said, it's on all sides. It is. And it's, it's so frustrating to watch.
That's a classic quote from Vaughn. It's hard to see the other side's perspective. I've had someone very far left tell me they hate the BBC because it's so right-wing.
You know what? Tony Garrett makes a point here in the chat. He says, when all of us start the them and us between all of us, the focus is taken away from the actual them that fosters the them and us. And I said this once again. I said this last night, and I'll state it again here. The only real divide that there is that matters, as far as I'm concerned, is class divide. There are people above a certain line when it comes to wealth, status, power, influence that want to remain there, and they want you to never attain that. So they want you to remain in your place. These are the real. If there are enemies, and I don't really like to use that term either, but if there are, that's the divide you want to look at. And it's in their best interests, the people above that line, to keep us fighting over things like race, medicine, sexuality, religion. Because if we are focused on one another, we're not focused on them, and they get to stay in their position, and we stay down in our place.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
What's the two aims of government?
Feather your own nest, control the population.
That's it. That is it in a nutshell. And they've been doing it very well for hundreds of years now.
They have indeed.
But
they have
is it
indeed.
going to fail? Is it going to fail? Because are we getting to the point where civilization is starting to break down?
See, there's a difference between, I think, what we're seeing versus what should happen. What we're seeing is a breakdown rather than an uprising. Because...
Okay, but did you see what Macron said today or yesterday?
No.
Right, so Macron said that France is being torn apart by the far left wing who are trying to overthrow the government. Now, Macron's not a right-winger.
No, he is not.
But he specifically said the far left.
Well, that's very interesting.
Well, but you see, if you think about it, I mean, when France had its revolution, it was almost communist, wasn't it? So yeah. he's thinking they're going back down that route, and they're going to set up the guillotine in the Arc de Triomphe or whatever and start chopping.
So I know he's worried. I do know he's worried. And all of those anti-government, Teresa says that's the most sensible thing I ever heard Macron say.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean,
what is it I like to say often?
He also said it's time to wind back these climate changes. He says we can't afford them and they're not doing us any good.
Well, especially now when we've wrecked all of our economies, we can't afford these, these sorts of things, these sorts of policies. They're luxuries. And I don't mean, I mean that by saying you do these sorts of things if you make damn sure everybody can afford to live in the lifestyle that they've already been accustomed to. And so if you are in that position to do that, then you can start looking at possibly transitioning these things and building the technology to do it. Not when your economies are in the pit, and doing it would send your country back to the dark ages, which is exactly what net zero would do at this time.
I don't even think it's that, Ben, to be fair, because net zero is an ill thought out process that doesn't convey any advantage to anything, because the underlying science behind it doesn't back it up. But you can't tell people that, because consensus. Why does this fucker? Why is this? Somebody has decided to fucking rev a car from like 9 o'clock. Why are they doing this? It's not even a garage. The garage is shut.
I can tell you now, I can't hear it. So
right, okay,
it's all good.
Anyway,
see, my friend Matt poses a question here. He says, is civilization breaking down, or is corruption becoming more visible due to social media? Now, I think there's an element of that. I do. Because
corruption's always been prevalent in government. I
mean,
it's always been there. And to be fair, we've always found out about it one way or the other, usually, ultimately. Maybe we find out about it a little bit quicker, but, it's still there. I don't think government's any more corrupt now than it was in the past. I mean, remember, the government in the past, released toxic nerve agents in the underground. And that's not a conspiracy theory, that's a fact. You can go on the government website, you can read about it. So they did these things. I mean, they infected a whole island off of Scotland called Greenyard with anthrax. You still can't go on that island to date because it's too toxic. You know, and these things aren't conspiracy theories. These are facts. This is what your government did. I mean, they put an airborne what would you call it, chemical in the air to see how far it would cover towards the Fens and Cambridgeshire and things like that, to see how far nuclear fallout would go. And then they found out that the airborne chemical they thought was safe wasn't safe. And people started getting all sorts of weird rashes and diseases and things like that. So that's your government, and that's your government of the 50s and 60s. When you think people were sensible, they weren't any more sensible in the 50s and 60s. It's just...
No.
They're just as bad today. People haven't changed. We haven't changed that much.
No, I don't think we have. And, you know, all of these issues, and let's take it back to these issues where people form cult-like behaviours. Do you really think...
Is he loud enough, people?
This is probably my fault. Do you really think that the people in your government and the people that run your corporations and the people at the top give two shiny shites about a single one of these issues? You know, there's this boycott going on right now against Target, for example, because of LG. Do you really think Target care about LGBTQ WXYZ issues? They don't. They're a corporation and they care about the bottom line. Mm-hmm. And the only reason they introduced that range is because they thought they might sell some. No other reason.
Yes and no. They thought they might sell some.
ESG as well.
ESG. Because it'll improve their ESG and Vanguard and BlackRock will invest more in them.
Yeah. But it's never, ever, ever about caring. I can tell you now, a corporation does not care about your sexuality. They don't care about your skin color. When Starbucks released the Rainbow Cup for Pride or whatever, they don't care about you. They want you to go and buy their drink. That's all it is. When Skittles did that whole because it's LGBTQWXYZ Pride Month and we're rainbow, we're going to release clear white Skittles because we don't own the rainbow. They did that.
White Skittles.
But they didn't do that because they cared. They did it as a marketing campaign to make money off of you.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
It just beggars belief that people actually believe that these corporations and the people at the top of them care about the issues that divide the working classes. They don't care.
Why does Pride get a whole month anyway? Everybody else only ever gets a day.
Do you know what? It's a question I don't need to answer because people can do what they want and people can celebrate what they want, and I don't care. And it's not that I don't care, it's that it doesn't affect me. It doesn't bother me. And at the end of the day, I know people go, oh, look, in the chat, oh God, Pride Month is soon and things like that. And you're entitled to feel like that. But do you know what? If I feel like I'm being...
Oh my God! Philip!
From Philip Schofield, I love those squishy Skittles. It was unwise, not illegal. 5.
Huh?
We've had a donation from Philip. I love those squishy Skittles. It was unwise, not illegal.
Thank you, Philip. We will get to talking about you soon. Don't you worry about that, Sonny Jim.
So, what I'd like to say about that. Should we move on to Philip? Should we?
Well, should we go there? Should we go there? It is breaking news that we were right. That everyone that talked about this and came up with this idea and theory was absolutely right. Yeah. He's finally admitted it, hasn't he?
Yeah. So this this boy
What's-
was born in 1996. That makes him 25 now, doesn't it? Or
Yeah, so Philip
Yeah.
Schofield has known Matthew McGreevy since he was 10 years old.
yeah.
He got him into TV. He got him the jobs as a
We're
runner
going to
when
say
he was a
something else
teenager.
there. I'm glad you did.
Oh, there are certainly other jobs that were almost certainly done, but we won't go there. But yes, he's known him since he was 10. Now, I'm not going to allege that anything
No.
illegal has happened here.
Of course not.
Absolutely not. But the fact is, after years and years and years of denial, we all knew the reason he came out as gay was because of this affair with
Yeah.
Matthew McGreevy was going to be outed.
Yeah.
So he came out.
I mean,
But
he's got a super injunction, hasn't he?
I believe so, but I believe that's going to expire.
Well, I mean, they all
Um,
do eventually. I mean, look at the Prince Charles one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've seen that one. Have you
I've
seen
not,
that?
but carry on.
Have you not
No.
seen Prince Charles snogging
No.
the guy? You never seen that?
So,
It's reported in
No.
papers across the world, except in the UK. You've never seen it?
no. Oh, well, yeah, I've seen the picture. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's,
I
it's
don't know
actually
if it's real.
reported in mainstream publications across the world, but not in the UK.
Well, like I say, I can't confirm whether or not that picture's real. I've seen it, but still.
Okay.
I want to read you. I want to read you a tweet from Eamon Holmes, OBE, and you responded to it. But it says
Well,
Schofield
yes, I
has
did.
actually, let me rejig my vocal. How do I do Irish? Ooh, I'm a
Get some
leprechaun.
Tito's.
Pot of gold.
Fellini, get some Tito's.
Get me some potatoes.
Get the Tito's.
Schofield has finally been caught out, but he's not the only guilty party. 4 high members of ITV management knew what sort of man he was and never once took action to prevent him controlling or taking advantage of his position over young people. So it sounds to me like Eamon knew.
Of course he did. Well, I said, did you know? And he never answered me, but someone else did eventually, right? Someone else said, yes, he knew. And I said, well, did he do anything about it? Or he did nothing, he knew and did nothing about it as well. And then someone came back and said, no, him and his wife lost their job because he spoke out about it. And I said, okay, well then, I'm sorry for that. My mistake. If that's the case, I'm sorry, because the thing is, how do you speak out about it if you've lost a job and you don't have a public voice anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
So
you get the
Shilling's
weight
asking
of
in the chat.
you get the weight of Schofield and his massive bankroll, who's going to take you to court if you say anything, and you won't have
Absolutely.
the defence of your company anymore because you're not working for them.
Well, We Buy Any Car and people like that dropped him when he did the whole not standing in line for the Queen's coffin.
Yeah,
so
well, I mean, that was solid.
maybe-
That, again, while not illegal, was unwise. I mean,
Well, it
the
was
guy
very
should have been trying
unwise,
to
wasn't it?
build bridges, not burn them, you know? He was just such an
ha-
arrogant... I, for one, will not miss his face on TV. He's such an arrogant and prissy annoyance. Just horrible,
And once
horrible,
again,
horrible.
it's just another one of these people who feigned virtue at every opportunity. He feigned virtue. He feigned the fact that he was better than you.
He's
and
another
he-
Jeremy
you know,
Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I'm in agreement. I won't be sad to see the back of him. Now,
The question is, people are saying, why are you so concerned about someone who's had an affair, right? Okay.
because it's news.
Yeah, but people are saying, why are you so concerned about someone who's had an affair? It's not illegal, move on. And my question to them is, why are you so concerned about the relationship Prince Andrew had with a 17-year-old?
Good question. Good
Man,
question.
I mean, Answer me. I don't know. Why is it different for him and not for Philip?
That's a good question. I mean, to be honest with you, as long as nothing being done in any party was illegal, maybe the private lives of people shouldn't be
unwise,
public
but
gossip.
not illegal.
No. People in the chat and Twitter trending, by the way, they're all waiting for Gordon the Gopher to give a statement.
Gordon's a ruined man.
Yeah.
Gordon's
just crying in the...
Gordon's like, you know, Gordon gets mocked by his peers now.
Yeah.
You know why? You know what they call him? They call him Kit Kat.
No.
You know why they call him Kit Kat? Because he can take 4 fingers. That's okay. That's clean.
I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say it. I didn't say it wasn't. This is gonna be a long night.
Do you think? Do you think it's gonna be? A long
I
night?
don't. It never is. It never is. But did you see that Peter Cushing is trending? Do you know who Peter Cushing is? Of course, you know who Peter Cushing is. Everyone who knows who Peter Cushing is.
Do you know
why?
Have you ever heard of Hammer horror movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. Boom.
Yeah, and obviously Peter Cushing was Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars.
He was, yeah. He's been
And
dead for a
did
while,
you
though.
know?
Is he not?
He has.
Yeah.
And when they did Rogue One, a Star Wars story, they actually got another actor and digitally imposed Peter Cushing's face on him, and it did look pretty uncanny valley. I will say that.
I'm sorry,
But
the Star Wars Rogue One was not a Star Wars movie. There's only 3 Star Wars movies, and they start at they start at number 4. Pardon me.
Of the Disney movies that claim to be Star Wars, in my opinion, Rogue One is the best one.
None of them. Sorry, they're all crap.
So, yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you want to measure them against one another, which is probably the only metric you can measure them, Rogue One is the best one. Because they don't stand up. It's like, oh my god, in a few weeks' time, Indiana Jones and the Zimmer Frame of Doom is coming out.
You know what?
What are we
Indiana Jones should have stopped at 1. They didn't need a second one. It was good.
Yes, but the thing is, but the second and third one weren't bad movies. They were good movies. I enjoy all 3 of them.
What was the
I
third
don't like
one?
Short Round. The one with Sean Connery.
The best description though of Indiana Jones, the best description ever was when Sheldon did it on The Big Bang Theory.
I don't watch The Big Bang Theory.
Well, you should, because it's incredibly funny, to be fair. And he described Indiana Jones as the movie where the main character, i.e. Indiana, makes no difference at all to the storyline and plot. And he's 100% right.
Yeah.
The whole film just moves along, and it wouldn't matter if Indy was there or not.
No, he inserts himself into situations that are already occurring. Yeah. The dig site, people are already digging. The Ark of the Covenant being opened, it did what it did, right? It did what it did, and he made absolutely no difference to it. He just turned around to old Marion and, cover your eyes, Marion, don't look! Basically, it would have happened.
Yeah. Right, here we go. Adam's brought up something about Pink Floyd, right? Okay.
Right.
Have you seen this? Have you seen Roger Waters and his stage show?
No, not in a long time.
Do you not keep up with the news at all the day before we?
Is Roger Waters still alive?
Yeah. Do you not keep up with the news at all on the day we do shows?
Well, I've
go and
been
have a
busy
look at
today.
Twitter about Pink Floyd. Okay, it must
I'm
be
doing
trending.
it. I'm doing it.
But anyway,
Doing it.
right. So, I don't see the problem with what Roger Waters is doing, because one, the people calling him out aren't explaining any of the context of it. It's a stage show, right? He's in character as Pink Floyd, the rock god who's gone nuts, and dreaming of being a fascist event and speaking and killing the crowd. It's all part of a show. What's the problem? See, if you can't show things like this, then you're starting to censor history. If you censor history, then how can you believe anything and how can you learn anything from what's gone before? So either you do censor or you don't censor. If you do censor, you might as well just give up and start supping on the teat, the teat of government information.
Let me read you this. So a projected message stated, the show will start in 10 minutes and a Frankfurt court has ruled that I am not anti-Semitic. It also added, I want to make it clear I condemn anti-Semitism without reservation. So that was projected before the show even started.
Yeah, I know, but people are showing it out of context, right? And they're saying, this is ridiculous. He's glorifying, he's doing nothing of the kind. He's made a show. People are so stupid. They try my patience. You people try my patience.
Well, it's the same as the young man up your way, Mark Meakin, Count Dankula, who gave the context in the video that he made. So, for those who don't know, he made a video, right? And in the context he gave in the video, he spelled out as clearly as anybody could. He said, "I'm always getting annoyed at my girlfriend because she treats her wee dog like a baby. She thinks her dog's the cutest thing on earth, and it annoys me. So while she's away, I thought I would turn this dog into the worst thing on the planet."
Don't say it.
And a Yahtzee.
Yeah.
Right? A Yahtzee. And then proceeds to teach the dog to raise its paw.
Okay.
Things like...
Probably pretty much everyone knows what happened. And
but it was a joke.
The thing that gets me is the whole thing about that revolves around a judge, right, who sits there and goes, no, that's not what you meant to say. What you meant to say was this. Now, that's not justice. That's telling someone what they think. You can't do that.
That's thought policing.
Yeah.
That is literal thought policing.
Hello, Minority Report.
But that's what happened in your country, John.
Yeah. Oh,
that's what happened.
Why do you think I keep myself a low profile and don't give out my address or tell people where I am? Because I think I could be next. I mean, I'm already attacking the First Minister.
I've got your address.
Yeah, but
I know where
you're not going to dox me, are you?
I mean, I already told a couple people because they had to send you some stuff. But
But anyway, yeah. So but look at Hamza's hate crime law. You can't say certain things while in your privacy of your own home. You can say whatever you like in your own home. The whole thing's ridiculous.
But you can't because it's against the law, John.
I take it you can't watch Alf Garnett anymore.
I wouldn't have thought so. I don't.
I mean, I sat and watched what was it called? Bless This House on YouTube. Whole series of Bless This House, or 2 series or whatever on YouTube.
You broke
and
the
it
law.
was a scream. And they used derogatory terms for black people.
Hamza! He broke the law!
They used derogatory terms for black people, but it's in context. It's set in the... sorry, it's not set in the 70s. It was filmed in the 70s. And that's how we spoke. And the thing is, if you go back, it's like... If you go back and start rewording books and remaking TV shows to change how things were then, when they weren't like that, you're altering history. And if that happens, who's to say that's never not happened? So how can you ever believe history?
How many times has history been revised? How many times?
Exactly.
Because we are looking at these, quote unquote, and they say they do it. They say they do it. Or we're just changing the wording of a dead author's book to make it more inclusive. But it's their book. It's their words. It's their story. And let people either read them or not read them in the context and in the language in which they were written. Because the second you start changing a published author's book, it is no longer that author's book.
No, it's
It
not.
isn't their book.
It's a
It
censored
isn't their
version.
work. It isn't their words. But they think they're doing this. I mean, I see today a campaign
Emery.
by
Remember
one
Dick
student.
Emery? Sorry.
Yeah, but there's a campaign going on here in Britain by one student to have Of Mice and Men removed from the
I
curriculum.
was going to mention that, but yeah, and I mean,
Yeah,
you know what? She'll probably succeed. Is it she?
I think she will.
Yeah,
She,
she probably will.
I think
succeed.
I think she will, because
And
people are
it's
so
wrong.
damn afraid. Well, it is wrong
It's
because
Fahrenheit 451. We're going to start burning books, aren't we? Except for that book. Can't burn that book.
But listen, people talk about being a progressive, and I think this term's got to kind of be taken back, because I'd like to think that what we want is progress, and I would like
What's a
to
progressive?
think that,
Enlighten me.
well, the people that mostly call themselves progressive usually sit on the far left. Okay, it's just another term for them to call themselves. But I
Well,
don't
what do they mean
think
by the
it's
term progressive? What do they mean?
What they mean is they're the ones to progress society forward into the utopia.
Well,
Right.
what are they progressing towards?
I don't know.
See, there's a lot of questions here
I
that aren't
don't think
answered.
they know.
This sounds like a cult.
This is the thing. I don't think they know what they're progressing towards.
Yeah, if someone told me he was a progressive, I think I'd have to say, I have no idea what you mean. Could you please tell me? And I don't think they'd be able to.
I don't think that banning books, censoring words, trying to change perception of what people really meant for or wrote, I don't think that's progress. I think that's regression.
Well,
I do.
Censorship.
I think that's
It's censorship.
regressive.
It's
Yeah.
straightforward censorship. That's all it is. It's rewriting
I think
history
the only-
and censoring it.
So we were talking.
It's not
last
even
night, going
regression
back to
because you're
my-
not going back. What you're doing is you're rewriting what was done before to make it the same as what you think it should be now, right?
Yeah.
So if anything, it's a what would you call it? It's not
it's
progression.
revisionism.
It's what?
It's revisionism. Or revisionist.
That's what it is. It's revisionist.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're revisionists. That's what they are. I mean, it's like,
Yeah,
it's like
and
all these
that-
people. I mean, like Poland's jumped on the bandwagon. Poland, right? Poland goes, Germany should pay. Oh, Poland says Germany should pay reparations to Poland for the Second World War. Oh, hold on a minute. That's 70 years ago. Is the statute of limitations on reparations not ran out?
I mean, let's
Hold
face
on.
it.
Who rebuilt Poland after the Second World War?
Was it Germany?
No, it wouldn't be Germany. It'd be America and Britain,
Yeah. Well,
right?
Poland have managed.
Oh no,
to-
sorry. Poland was under the Soviet Union. So who rebuilt Germany? Who rebuilt Poland after the Second World War? The Soviet
Well,
Union.
probably Russia.
Yeah. So maybe the reparations, after to be paid at all, should be paid to the Soviet Union because they rebuilt it. They spent the money to build it back up. And the same like we did for Germany, we rebuilt Germany. So if anybody's going to pay reparations to us, they should be paying it to us and not to like France, because we rebuilt France as well.
So the point I'm trying to make here is going back to my conversation about last night. I think people have started to really get very confused about what terms mean and what words mean, because you see these. I mean, you saw the term being thrown about, fascist and far right and things like that last night, and I pointed out, and because my guest, and I think mistakenly, linked his idea of far right and fascism to ultra libertarianism. And the point that I made is that fascism and libertarianism are they're polar opposites.
Mhm.
You
They're
cannot
diametrically opposed.
How can you? Because libertarianism and ultra libertarianism is ultimately about
Close to
anarchic
anarchy,
freedom.
is it not?
Yeah, and it's the biggest amount of, I guess, freedom, because we do our political compass tests, and I've done mine, and several
I've done
times I
mine.
always fall in the same place, slightly left of center in the libertarian in the libertarian
And
path.
I've done
And you're
mine, and
slightly right.
I fall in exactly the opposite position of yours.
Yeah, slightly right of center in the libertarian.
Yeah.
You don't fit in the authoritarian side, do you?
Exactly.
But these ideologies, right? Because ideologies like fascism, and I'm kind of repeating myself from last night, but I want to reiterate this point. They need authoritarianism in order to take hold, because without the authoritarianism, how can they be imposed? Because that is what they are. They are an imposition. Because you're not gonna decide as a communist country, oh, you can all be communists, I won't be. That's not how it works. It is imposed upon you. And in order to do that, you need authoritarianism, not libertarianism. And so I wonder if these terms have been thrown around so much now that people just don't even know what they mean. And that's not a criticism on my guest from last night. That's just the point I was coming back to. Because, I think I made the point succinctly then that you need authoritarianism, not libertarianism. But that's true, and it's a good example, I think, of how people are going back to revisionism. They're revising history in their own minds to believe that things like fascism need libertarianism is the opposite. They need authoritarianism. And, I've never known a libertarian try and impose something on others.
No.
Just
No, I know. The whole thing's ridiculous. I mean, that's the problem is you've got a bunch of people that don't actually know what they're talking about.
yeah.
That's the problem.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I was
copying what other people say and thinking, that sounds smart. I'll just tweet that out. And to be true, they don't have a clue. They really do not have a clue. They've never lived a life, and they don't have a clue as to what they're talking about. I mean, it's like all these stop oil, and I mean, you see the Chelsea flower, they're throwing paint on flowers. Well, that's environmentally friendly, isn't it?
I don't understand it.
Yeah, who thought that was a good idea? That's great optics, And then the woman starts watering them. Did you see that? When they extended hose, she starts watering them. And I'm thinking, what are they going to do now? The paint's going to run. And the thing is, what kind of paint are they using? Because I'll kind of bet it's oil-based.
Well, it's powder, isn't it? So it's always a powdered paint. I don't know whether or not it's oil-based, but the only reason they've done it at the Chelsea Flower Show, the only reason, it's hot in here. The only reason they did it at the snooker is because it was live on TV, and they were able to get themselves noticed.
And it's like these clowns that are blocking roads and things like that. It's like these people don't have a clue. They don't know what they're fighting for. And the thing is, if you ask people like Patrick Moore, right? Not Patrick Moore, the big-eyed guy who used to stare at the moon, right? Not him, the other one, right? Patrick Moore, the co-founder
the Greenpeace guy.
of Greenpeace, right?
Yeah, I know.
If you ask Patrick Moore what's happening in the world, he'll tell you a completely different story from most scientists. He's certainly not in that consensus.
No, he's not, and it's like him and Greenpeace don't recognise one another anymore.
Oh no, he fell out with them big time because he thought they were being too militant. He thought they were being
Yeah, and
he thought they were being too aggressive, too militant, and they were putting themselves and others in danger on a routine basis. And the same thing, I mean, remember, we're not quite sure who it was. It might have been the French or somebody that planted a bomb on Rainbow Warrior in New Zealand. Do you remember that? And blew a hole in the bomb. Do you not remember that? No? Oh, the French Secret Service blew a hole in the bottom of Rainbow Warrior so they couldn't go and protest a French nuclear test.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot. I mean, you think the world's mad now. It was mental in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It was absolutely mental. And the thing was,
do you think
people still got on with life, you know? People still got on with life. Now it's like, for instance, let me tell you this. There's a person who's got a unit down here, right? And she's a goldsmith. She's a lovely girl, right? And I was talking to her the other day, and she goes, no, I'd put her in her, mid-30s maybe? Right, but anyway, she goes, I've got an apprentice in there just now, and she rolls her eyes. And I goes, what's up? And she's going, I goes, too woke? And she goes, what? And I goes, woke? And she goes, oh, way too woke, right? She goes, he's 24, right? And I've already had him in tears twice today.
What?
Yeah. And that was before 12 o'clock I was talking to her. He's 24 and he's been in tears twice with what she was saying to him. It's just, I can't exist in a world like this.
Oh, no.
I mean,
no.
I made a gaffe one day when I was in charge of the student labs at Paisley, and I told one of the guys who was there on day release to stop arsing about and play the W man's game, right? And unfortunately, he wasn't a W man. I'm going to end up in jail. I just can't do this. That's not how I was brought up.
I will say, I was speaking to my friend Matt earlier, who's in the chat, and I told him your age, and he went, I would have put him in his late 40s. So, what do you say to that? There you go. Thought I'd cheer you up there, John. Thought I'd cheer you up.
But, you know, the world's gone mental. It really has. It really has gone mental.
It has. It's like the term, I didn't leave the left left me.
Oh, well, that's a given. I mean, someone said that in Twitter the other day, and I said, did you leave the left, or did the left leave you? In fact, she's one of our biggest fans now.
Yeah.
She's been watching tonight. Maybe she's not.
Well, I hope she is.
Where's Teresa?
Could be watching over on...
Come on, Teresa said she was going to join us in bed.
Teresa was in there earlier on.
Oh,
I
right,
did see her.
okay.
I said hello. Yeah, you don't calm your boots, calm your jets, John.
I haven't seen anything from Shalini for ages. I bet she's fallen asleep. Shalini, you're sleeping.
Probably falling asleep. I'm not gonna lie. That's what she. You know, it's past 9 o'clock. We start at 9 o'clock. We start a little bit late for some people. That's just the way it is.
Well,
But
there are duties that need to be performed. So 9 o'clock it suits me better, and I think it actually suits you a bit better as well, Ben. To be fair,
it does, because you know my children can have the stern talking to required, and then that's a joke, by the way, people. A joke. Oh my god.
What's up? What's happened?
We got the most ridiculous phone call earlier on, right?
Is this something that's
true.
safe for air?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
This is true, what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
We got a phone call from the school. Yeah? To us, because we gave our son Calpol this morning because he's got a sore throat and a cold.
Yeah.
So we gave him Calpol because I had to take some into school yesterday because he wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
So I had to go into school and give him. We got a phone call from the school saying, "Did you give him that cowpole for his autism?"
Ah?
We were like, "What?"
Calpole's pain relief. It's nothing to do with autism. Autism's not pain. It's a condition.
We were like, "What? What are you talking about?" I believe they apologized to my wife at the end of the day,
Why
but
would
it
they
was.
ask that?
I have no idea.
Well, maybe because does it make him feel drowsy? Maybe it's calmed them down.
I don't know. I don't know.
You
But
better
we
give him
literally
some
gave him.
Benadryl if you want to calm him down. That's sweet. I'm not going to say anything. I am not going to say anything. I'm not.
No, I don't.
I'm not
No,
saying
we
it.
don't medicate him at all. We
No.
don't medicate him at all, except for if he needs a bit of cowpole.
Yeah.
If he needs a bit of cowpole, if he's got a cough for a cold or whatever. So we give him a bit of cowpole yesterday, give him a bit of cowpole today.
Yeah.
But we were just like, what are you talking about? Of these, it just harkens back to you saying the world has indeed gone mad.
Of course it has.
It's gone mad. Yes, DW, it was the receptionist. Yes, it was.
Receptionists are always the culprit.
We were just, what are you talking about? I don't know. The world is going mad around us, John. Are we
Right,
and our
Adam,
small group of...
you need to keep up with us. We covered Bill Gates and his Russian lover the other day.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
So you're behind the eight ball there. Hey, I use beer for relief. So do I, Vaughn. So do I.
I don't blame you, to be honest. And what I do with it is I just weaponize it. And you, that's what I do. but hey ho.
Actually,
Right.
a public service announcement. If you like information from Latimer Alder, I don't know if any of you follow him or see him tweeting about climate and change. And climate change does occur. You know, we're wholehearted believers in climate change because climate changes every day here. Every day.
Climate does change every day.
Anyway,
every day.
So Latimer and I have started up our new series on net zero. So it's on our
Have you
audio
named
podcast
it yet?
at the moment. What?
Have you named the series yet?
No, I just put it out on our Chasing Dissent channel as Net Zero Savior.
What, on the podcast channel?
On the podcast channel, yeah. Chasing Net Zero Savior or something else. Can't remember.
Or something else.
Yeah, but anyway, if you want to listen to an audio podcast, if you find my voice too boring, then you can listen to Latimer for most of it, because it's quite informative, and he's got quite a nice voice. I think I'd like to go to sleep to Latimer speaking in my ear.
You know what? I had him when I had my own channel. I had him on a couple of times, and everybody loved listening to him speak. And you know, we respected his wishes that he didn't want to show his face. Fair enough. And yeah, you did. And then you started getting upset. You were going, "He's mine! He's mine!"
Yeah, you were trying to poach him, I thought. And then we actually started collaborating, and therefore it didn't become an issue. Which is probably best for all of us.
Yeah, I think so. Because you were getting a bit upset there. You were having a little bit of a tantrum. He's mine!
But anyway, yeah, so Latimer and I have started that again. And next week, it's scheduled already. Next week, we're going down under. We're going to the bottom of the world. Or are we going even further? Are we going to another realm outside the ice wall?
I'm looking down a rabbit hole right now, John. I'm looking down a rabbit hole.
Are we going in to possibly a hollow earth? Who knows? Who knows what could be going on?
Who knows? Who knows? But John and Ed the Techie will be once again going down the rabbit hole. Do you want me to record some voiceovers for a little intro for you? Just like, down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
long as
you want
it's
it.
more than just that. Because that was a bit
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah, I
You could
I
make
could do it as
something up
Elmo, if you want.
around it, you know.
I
That could be ripped.
could do it as Elmo if you'd like.
See, that's exactly what I was going to tweet today when Adam just said reptilian overlords. Remember, I was.
I
gonna
know
tweet
you were.
I was. I
You
told you what I
were.
was going to tweet, and then I didn't.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Right. Let's see if I've got anything in the bookmarks that we want to talk about.
Come on. Let's see.
What
Adam
time-
says, "I'll do you a voiceover, John. I know you love
no,
my
no.
voices."
No.
All right there,
You
John.
can
I'm
do
in your
voiceovers. You could do.
basement.
He can only do voiceovers for Jimmy Savile, Rolf Harris, and Philip Schofield.
I'll tie you, kangaroo, down. Sport.
Yeah, I'll bet you would.
Oh,
Right.
he says
Oh, here's a plonker. He's a plonker. James May.
We like
you
a
know
plonker.
James May.
yeah,
James May from Top Gear, former Top Gear. You know.
yeah.
friend of
Now the
Clyde
Grand Tour.
Clarkson. Yeah, friend of the Clyde
Yep.
Clarkson. He some vegan plant-based news. Plant-based news has tweeted out former Top Gear star James May has said that future generations will look back on our meat consumption as primitive, and he endorsed vegan cooking. Hold on. It's quite possible we'll look back in a generation or two's time and regard eating animals as primitive. I think you're talking nonsense. I really
do as well. I do. You know, we wouldn't be able to digest and consume, and we wouldn't be evolved with teeth to eat meat if we were not intended to eat meat. And
See
you know
this?
what?
This thing here,
Mhm.
and I'm not pointing to my head, I'm pointing to the thing inside my head, which is called a brain. It's
Yep.
huge, right? And the only way, as a primitive human, that you could get enough proper nutrition to sustain that massive brain that uses like half your body's energy, right, is by eating high calorific diets that you will never get in veganism.
Now, whilst I completely agree with you, because you know that is just the reality of the situation, people are obviously free to eat vegan diets if they wish. Just do not try and impose such a thing upon us. However, I just want to go back. I want to harken back to a point. I saw you laughing about this the other day, actually. And I want to pose a question. Have you ever seen vegetables in cave paintings?
Exactly. That's what I said.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a vegetable in a cave painting? No. Because I'm telling you, primitive humans didn't go and get avocados to
imagine
make
going back?
avocado toast.
Imagine going back as a Stone Age hunter, right?
hmm
With your group of guys with your spears and arrows and things, and you go back to the women folk, because and don't castigate me for this, but at that point, men hunted, women looked after the kids and stayed at home, guarded the nest.
Yep.
Right? That's how it worked. Some say it maybe
Yep.
still should, but that's a different matter altogether. But anyway, so you go back home with your guys, and you've been tooled up, and you've been away for a 3 or 4 day jolly, you know, drinking the old mead or whatever it is,
Yep.
you know, fermented yak's urine or whatever. And anyway, you go back and you produce a massive turnip. How do you think that's going to go down with the women folk and the children around you? Yeah.
Right there, Janet. I got a turnip. It's a turnip, love. And I also got myself a cucumber.
Yeah. What
Right.
do you think of that, love? Is that all right? That's not good. That's not going to fly, is it? You're going to get
Pete
clubbed
comes
and
along.
thrown out the cave.
I was gonna say Pete comes along behind you to his missus and goes, "I got a gazelle."
Yeah, there you go. You're just like, oh, Pete, we're joining your clan, mate.
we're coming over to yours for dinner, mate. That's it. We're coming over.
That's another question, and I don't want to go down the conspiracy or rabbit hole route, but can you tell me why there are cave paintings with dinosaurs in them?
No, I can't. And I can't tell you whether or not such cave paintings would be classed as genuine or anything like that. I don't know. Honestly, I
Hey, it's a
don't know.
question I'll throw out there. If you want to go and research it, wire in people. But, why are there cave paintings with dinosaurs in them?
I don't know. I don't even know if there are. I'm just saying, I cannot answer your question. I can't. I wish I could, but unfortunately, this is one of those things.
Wait, have you ever heard of the game Where's Waldo?
What do you mean, where's Wally in this country?
Well, it was Where's Waldo in America, wasn't it? Where's Wally? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You played that game? Well,
I played it in real life.
We've got an updated version, haven't we?
Have we?
Where is Zelensky?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Where is he?
Where is he? Because since the drone attack on the Kremlin, I don't think he's been in Ukraine.
He's not been back in Ukraine, has he?
Well, he tweeted
He's
today saying he's been at the front lines in Donetsk.
Has he, though?
Again, the only thing I've seen is him standing in front of that green screen with the church thing in the background. So he's either back in his bunker or he's still out the country.
Here I am walking the streets of Kiev,
I think he's
absolutely
frightened to
alone,
go back.
with no guards whatsoever. Please excuse the fact that
think
it
he's
appears to be
frightened.
terrible green screening. Well, yeah, I think you could be right. But yeah, let me be careful about... I'm going to try and tell you a story. I have to be careful when I tell you this story. But 2020, October 2020, I was gifted a Where's Wally costume. In fact, I've got the hat round here somewhere.
I've seen that hat. I can confirm he does
because-
have that hat.
I was gifted a Where's Wally costume by a viewer because at this point, the places where people went to see if they had something, shall we say, had my photo up. They had my photo up in all of the down in the southeast.
Yeah,
So on Halloween,
this guy, phone police, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so on Halloween, 2020, Halloween Day, October 31st, I went to the one in Bexhill because they've got literally a concrete plinth that you can stand up on and look down into the one that they had, so you could stand right up above it. And I went there dressed up in my Where's Wally costume and started shouting at them for a megaphone.
Oh.
I got it all on video.
Where's
as well.
Wally? I know you weren't shouting that, but I know what you were shouting. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was dressed up in this full blown. I had the glasses on. I had the stripy top. I had the hat. And I had the megaphone, and I started shouting at them. If anything, it was fun.
Yeah.
Right?
I bet it was.
If anything, I turned it into a game.
Well, you had to mock. I mean, humor is one of the best ways of attacking people in positions of power. It really is. Unless you count Dankula.
I mean,
When they don't get his humor. See, the thing is,
true that the only...
But Scottish humor's very dark. I think we've got a dark streak in our psyche because we are very dark and we laugh at really stupid and crass things and, horrible things that happen to people, and we'll laugh at them.
Well, just listen to Frankie Boyle before he decided that not being woke wouldn't get him a job on the BBC. Listen to some of the stuff that man comes out with.
Oh yeah, I mean,
talking about Katie Price's son Harvey. Some of the stuff that he has come at, Frankie Boyle has come out with about that kid.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's probably going a little too far.
I'm not going to repeat any of the stuff he said. You can go and look for yourself. But the thing is, this man now preaches wokeism. The man that said that stuff. It beggars belief. It beggars belief that these people get away with it. It really does. What else you got for me, John? Come on.
To be honest, I don't have a lot. Let's have a look what's trending. Eamon's trending.
So let me So let me tell you, today is the release date of Disney's live-action remake of The Little Mermaid, John. How do we think it's going to do?
I think it's gonna go boom. As in, it's gonna bomb.
I see. I'm not too sure. I think it'll definitely make some money this weekend, but I think next weekend the fall off will be huge, is what I'm predicting. But should I go and see it so that I can talk about it, so
Well,
that
I
other
did-
people don't have
Hey,
to see it?
You know what? You've seen Redcon 1,
I've seen Redcon 1.
and you've seen the Donetsk
Dyatlov Pass.
Dyatlov Pass. So how much worse could it get? Although I did like Denise and Dyatlov Pass. Denise
Yeah, well,
was right. She
justice
was
for
sensible.
Denise.
Yeah, and she was the
We
first to
we
go.
should have had shirts
She was the
made.
first to go.
I know. We should have had shirts made. Denise was right. Justice for Denise. I mean, I was sitting there, wasn't I? She was talking.
I'm with
and I just
Denise.
went, I'm with her. I'm with her.
Hey, I would stand behind Denise all day long.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would. So, okay, I will at some point this weekend go and see the live action Little Mermaid, just so
Oh.
you don't have to. And
Speaking of,
I don't.
Speaking of the other channel, I put a little ditty up the other day, people.
Oh, it's funny.
It's basically
need to
just
go
me
over there.
laughing for 20 minutes.
It is funny.
That is funny.
So John's put out a video called like movie posters from hell. And where have you? What country are these posters from, John?
Ghana.
So they're from Ghana, and they're posters for real movies.
Yeah.
And you'd be shockingly surprised at how funny they are. So go over to the other channel. I'm just getting you the link for the other channel right now. Give me a minute. I'm gonna go.
They are funny. I
your
mean,
channel.
who would have put Michael Jackson, E.T., alien facehuggers in the same movie poster?
Who knows? But here we go. Link coming into chat now for the other channel.
One of the best one though was Jeremy Paxman.
So there you go. Go over and subscribe to the other channel if you haven't already. Because right now, loads more people are watching me
Eat breakfast.
eat breakfast than are watching John. Well, not even eat breakfast. Just look at breakfast food. Then are watching John look at these movie posters, which is a shame. And also, my Cars road trip video is quite comedically good as well, isn't it?
It's quite good, yeah.
Yeah, I've been making some solid content and some consistent content over on that other channel, and it's nice to see John to start putting stuff up there as well. So make sure you are subscribed. Link in the chat, and yeah, go and watch some of the latest stuff. It's all pretty good stuff. A lot of it's from. Tony says the thumbnail has an alien on it and ET. Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to watch the video to get full context, but it is good. It is a good one. So this is where, because we originally started posting about pop culture and stuff like that over here on Chasing Dissent.
Yeah.
So I've got like a video out there from like the Star Wars Hotel and stuff like that. But this old channel's been sitting around for a long time, and that channel was specifically for travel, movies, things like that. So we thought, well, let's just use that. So anything we do outside of the news and outside of politics, so if it's pop culture, especially travel, because that's my passion, and you know, movie reviews, we're going to put it over there. So we would really appreciate you being subscribed over there.
Travel's not his passion, people. His passion is traveling to theme parks. That's his passion.
Yes. What's wrong with that?
Because you're not
let's have
traveling for
it.
the sake of traveling. You're traveling to get to a theme park. You're not a traveler.
I'm a theme park traveler.
No, you're a theme park junkie. That's all you are.
I'm an adrenaline junkie. There's a difference. You know, I would also be happily
if you're an
chucked out of a
adrenaline
plane.
junkie, why did you go on the Cars ride?
I was bored and I wanted to make a funny video.
Yeah, so you're not really. It was just you're a theme park junkie.
Yeah,
Oh.
but well, you actually think I'm in a cult specifically dedicated to Disneyland Paris, so.
Oh, there's
And-
definitely cult behavior in there.
What? Because I just keep going back.
Yeah.
It's free.
Well, Mermaids is trending on.
Yeah, but that's not. I'm assuming that's not the Little Mermaid. I'm assuming that's the charity mermaids, probably.
Yeah, I think it is. Oh no, well, there's a bit of both. There's a bit of both.
A bit of both, is there?
Somebody's put a clip of the Little Mermaid up.
Speaking of theme parks, Fort Park is trending, John.
Thorpe Park.
Yeah, do you know why they're
Yeah.
trending? I can tell you why they're trending.
Yeah, why are they trending?
I don't even need to look at it because they opened a new ride today. Well, they call it a new ride. What it actually is just a wallpapering job over an old ride, and then they've
Okay.
called it something else. So
what
they
is
did
it?
have a ride called Darren Brown's Ghost Train. Now it's just called Ghost Train.
Okay.
It's just called Ghost Train. And the gimmick of the VR, because you'd sit on a train and put a VR headset on, that's gone. They've just taken the VR off and apparently added some more practical effects inside. And that is it.
Sounds
But
boring.
I'll take Vaughn on it. To be honest, in a few weeks' time, because he agreed to go to Fort Park with me, and then he said to me, "I don't really like big rides. I don't really like big rides. I don't like them."
I liked the when we went to Alton Towers. I quite liked the Wicker Man. That was quite good.
It's a bloody good coaster. It is a bloody good coaster.
I do.
To
like
be
these
fair to
traditional
you-
coasters.
To be fair, the Smiler did nearly kill you.
No, it didn't really. I'm not a great fan of these rides anymore as I've become older. They're all right.
Yeah, but 14 inversions on the Smiler. You came off it with
yeah, it's a bit. It's a
fucking
bit.
hell.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
it becomes less enjoyable and just a test of endurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I enjoy. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy being flung about, thrown about, and every which way. That's why the first thing I do every time I get to Disneyland is go straight on the Tower of Terror. People are like, "Oh, don't you go in the main park and go up to the?" No, do I? I go on Tower of Terror. I took you on the Tower of Terror, didn't I, John?
Yeah, the Tower of Terror's okay.
It's my favourite ride on the planet.
Really?
I love it. I love it.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either, but I ride it at least 25 to 30 times a trip. Don't know why.
that's
I
just
just
crazy.
keep doing it. Just keep doing it.
Right. Okay. So
Don't know
what
why.
else is happening in the world?
Not really much. I'm not gonna lie to you. Look, Ghost Train's trending. I told you. Ghost Train is trending.
Not in my page. It's not. Anyway, Groomed is trending.
Tony,
Willoughby is trending.
I am.
Sevastopol is trending. Eamon is trending. Why is Sevastopol trending?
I have no idea. I can't see it trending in my trends, so I have no idea. But why do you think that Holly's next for the chop? Because she must have known, right? She must have known.
Right. So here's a couple. Yeah. Willoughby can never quite disguise his. Oh, hold on. That's a different Willoughby, is it? Yeah, I think.
Hold on
that
a
was-
minute.
That was talking about.
Hold on a
India
minute.
Willoughby.
What the fuck, man?
Whoa!
Can you hear this?
What? What?
Sounds like a helicopter's about to land on my studio.
No, I can't hear it. Be a police.
That's very loud. It was rumbling the building.
I can't hear it. Obviously the sound cancel, what do you call it? Sound gate's working well.
Yeah, must be. Man, that made me jump out of my skin. I can still hear it.
Yeah, it'll be a police
But-
helicopter then. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So Holly Willoughby, friend of Philip,
I think. Yeah.
alleged friend
you
of
think
Philip,
we-
certainly colleague, right?
She called him her rock. That's
Yeah.
what she called him. She said Philip was my rock. So she must have known something.
So-
At the very least, something.
So, what happened when she got stuck between a rock and a hard place?
She threw him under the bus.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, of course she knew. Of course she knew. They lived in each
Allegedly.
other's pockets, really, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
it's like
you know,
you and I. You don't hide much from me, do you?
He's seen it all. All of it.
But anyway, right, enough of that.
He made me take pictures.
No, I did not. I haven't seen it all. But apart from that, but yeah, she's got to have known. She's got to have known, right? So she's been complicit at the very least. Okay, no one can trust her, surely,
No.
and no one can give her any credibility. So really, I think she's got to go as well.
Good night, Shalini.
Oh, good night, Shalini. You woke up to go to bed. It's been lovely having you here, snoozing away. We enjoyed watching
DW
you.
says bribes.
We enjoyed
Bribes
watching
now,
you.
is it, lads?
Thanks, Vaughn, for installing those cameras.
How much you had to drink?
Not enough, mate. Not enough.
Oh, I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that. Oh, not enough. Why is genocide trending?
I have no idea.
Um,
What about Ron DeSantis, or Ron DeSanctimonious, as Twitter calls him, or as Trump calls him?
well, do you know what?
What, Ben?
Do you know what?
Tell me.
I was going to do a video about this, and then I got lazy, right?
Right.
Because I decided to take the day off, didn't I? Because I was awesome. But
Yeah, but I didn't realise you were going to take the day off from life and not even look at the news.
dude, I've been in the clouds. I've been high as a kite legally.
So what about
But-
Ron DeSanctimonious? What do you think about Ron?
Well, see, the thing is, everyone knew this was going to happen. First of all, so for those who don't know, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida has announced his bid for the presidency. He's going to run.
His hat in the ring.
Yeah, he's going to run for the Republican nomination. So at this time, he's currently running against the Republican frontrunner, who is
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Now, this is going to be Trump's last time that he goes for the presidency.
Well,
He's
of
too
course.
old, right? So this is it's now or never for Donald Trump, and
I'm using the
Ron
freaking
DeSantis.
camera.
So Ron DeSantis is a Trump devotee. Well, he was. They were. What have you done?
I've made a stupid error.
What's he done?
I was using the wrong camera,
Done.
so I thought I'd switch to the other camera, and then I can't use it because OBS has it.
Well, you best just put back on the camera that you had on.
Yeah, but I can't because that now says something else is using the camera. Oh, good grief!
Anyway, Governor
Carry on,
Ron
I'll see if I
has.
can fix something up.
He's decided to throw his hat in for the presidency. And I knew he was going to do this because he'd started talking to, international partners and international leaders, and he'd started giving speeches in states that were not Florida. So you don't do that unless you're running for president. He hadn't announced it until about, 48 hours ago. So I knew he was going to do it. Everybody really knew he was going to do it. But do I think this is Ron's time? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't. Because Ron and Trump are going. This is going to be the news. This is going to be the war. Ron and Trump are going to fight one another. They're going to call each other names. I mean, Ron might take the moral high ground, but Trump is going to call Ron names. They're going to tear each other apart in the public arena, and that's going to be what plagues the election, rather than issues, rather than what people want to know. How are you going to fix this broken country? It's just going to be, Ron DeSanctimonious and Trump's bad for this. And I as a voter, if I was a voter in the United States, I wouldn't want to be hearing all of that. I want to know what these people can do for me. And obviously, realistically, the answer is probably nothing. But it's just gonna plague. Oh, look, I can see him again. I can see you, John.
Yeah. Can you?
I can't see you here on Ring Central, but I can see you on the screen.
Yeah, there you
on
go.
on
yeah, you'll
on
need
YouTube.
to you'll
There
need
you
to
go.
bear with me, but yeah, sorry about that, people.
That's fine. I can just
nice
listen.
stupidity.
It's fine. It's fine because I can see your pretty face down on my little screen down here. I've got you. Just give me a smile. Give me a little smile.
Right. So yeah. So Ron DeSanctimonious. But apart from that, you say it's not his time.
I don't think
he's
it
not
is.
very charismatic, is he?
He's not charismatic, but I think he's got the. I think he would beat Biden.
He should have run with Trump.
I do think
he's right. Tony Garrett's right. He should have done exactly what we said he should have done. He should have teamed up with Trump. He should have ran as his running mate.
Yeah,
and
so that's exactly. But that might still happen.
It could
because
it could,
Trump
yeah.
hasn't. He has not announced the running mate. So if Trump gets the Republican nomination, and he is the front runner, but we will have the rhinos and the never Trumpers who will obviously fall in line behind Ron. But if Trump gets the nomination, then he could point to Ron DeSantis as his running mate, and it'd be a Trump DeSantis 24 ticket. And then once Trump is finished, then DeSantis could run for the presidency, because obviously Trump is not allowed more than 2 terms. No American president is allowed more than 2 terms. So at the end of, let's say, hypothetically, there was a Trump DeSantis ticket and they won the White House, then you've got DeSantis poised for another 8 years of continuing whatever agenda they've been working on, rather than another 4. So realistically speaking and logistically speaking, it would have been better for them not to be fighting one another right now, because let's face it, Trump is not going to step aside. And I think he's even got the gumption that if he doesn't get the Republican nomination, he'll just put his hat in the ring as an independent anyway and still get his name on a ticket. Yeah. So, I don't know. But this guy is not stepping down. He's not stepping aside, especially for Ron. And he's already started the attacks, and the attacks will keep coming. And like I said, this election cycle is now going to turn into Trump versus Ron. And it's not something I want to see. It's not something I want to hear. And I'm glad I'm not having to vote.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that. It's going to get very, very boring very, very quickly. However, maybe it will, well, I guarantee you it will bring in those lovely click dollars for people like CNN and Fox News and MSDNC and people like that. But I don't know. Am I feeling a bit disenfranchised with geopolitical goings on and happenings at the moment? Well, it's all just degenerating, isn't it? It's degenerating. And you say this for Trump, and I know a lot of people like him, but it is like watching a child on Twitter sometimes. It really is.
Trump annoys me a little bit. I don't like the way that he keeps saying the same thing 3 or 4 times to reinforce it, which is a well-known technique, because let's face it, our own government did it quite recently. He used to say the same
Three
thing.
word
And
slogans.
and I don't like the way that he keeps reinforcing the same thing 3 or 4 times. It's just one of these things I don't like. He just reinforces the same thing 3 or 4 times. You see what I did there?
I see what you did
it's
there.
quite annoying, yeah. He's a good orator, but he's also annoying.
Uh-huh.
He's not as smart as he thinks he is.
No.
But I suppose the only thing he has really going for him is he prefers to make deals rather than go to war, which I think is a good thing, because the way America is at the moment, it seems to be trying to pivot away from Europe and put everyone's attention now on Asia and what's going on out there. And I think America at this point in time, America has bit off more than it can chew, because in the Second World War, America had 12.5 million troops in the theatre of war. America at the moment has an army of 1.1 million or something like that, and it's having trouble recruiting. And we have seen their recruiting adverts, and possibly we can give them a few pointers on how to improve their recruiting adverts, and maybe they would get some decent recruits.
Look, play Call of Duty, copy that.
Yeah, but
that's all.
But anyway, so, and the other thing is, in the Second World War, America had 12.5 million troops on the ground. It had 7 4-star generals to manage those 12.5.
How many does it have
million
now?
Troops. Just now it is 1.1 million troops, and it has 44 4-star generals. Why do you need why do you need so many 4-star generals to manage an army that's less than 10% of what you had in 1945, when you only had 7 managing it then? That beggars belief. The other thing that, and I'll be honest, I love America. I think it's a great country. I think Americans are lovely people, especially in their own country. But they have a problem in that they think their military is unassailable, because although they've never won a war since 1945, they've never had a quality opponent. And that's a big problem, because they think they can take on the world, and they just dismiss Russia out of hand. And they dismiss China out of hand. And they forget everything that they're using is made in China. So I'm pretty sure there's back doors on a lot of their electronics.
There could well be. There could well be. All right, let's go to one more thing. Give me something to bring the mood up. Come on. I don't want to talk about. It's Friday night, right? It's Friday night.
Well, we're a bit shy in news tonight, to be fair, aren't we?
Well, it's not just tonight, is it? We've been pretty shy in news this week, to be fair.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. Let's see. Satanic is trending. Let's see.
Well, no. I got it.
You've got it.
The title of the show. We have not covered Animal Rebellion.
Oh, we haven't. Right. I don't know if this brings the mood up, right? So these clowns went into the one of the royal farms or something.
Sandringham, wasn't it?
That I think is supporting rare breeds.
Yes.
So this is a farm that's not really a farm, it's a royal indulgence, shall we say, that's breeding rare sheep and keeping them going and all that. And they rescued 3 tups by the look of them, right? Now
3 baby lambs.
They weren't quite babies, but a tup is basically a lamb that's probably been castrated by this point and is getting fattened up, but it's still with its mother, so it'll still be taking milk and it won't be weaned.
Yep.
So what?
So
What are they going to do with them?
and
They rescued these 3 lambs. They took them away in a van. So they took them away from their mothers. Now there's a good chance
they
you
stole
can't
them.
reintroduce that lamb to the sheep anymore
No,
because it'll
no,
be tainted,
absolutely.
and the sheep will go, "That's not my kid anymore," because it doesn't smell like it.
Yeah.
So I think the whole thing's a bit. I think the whole thing's a bit ill thought out. Like most of these protests, it's ill thought out, ill conceived, and they have no real. They have no real game plan, because what did they do the next day? They went and handed
No,
themselves in.
they went and handed themselves into the police, but also at the same time, what they've probably done for these lambs in rescuing them is handed them a death sentence.
Oh,
Because,
almost
like you said,
certainly.
they're probably almost certainly because they're probably not weaned. Tony says, "Can we call them useful idiots?"
Yeah.
But they're almost, they're probably not weaned. They've been taken away from their mother. But just also imagine the distress the mother must have been put in
Yeah.
if she's weaning her kids still, and rearing her kids until she sends them away, so to speak, and stops feeding them and the like. She would be in severe distress.
And she'll be in pain as well, because her milk won't be getting emptied.
Exactly. So all this animal rebellion have done is basically what PETA do. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, who are one of the biggest euthanizers of animals on the planet.
Yeah, I know.
Ah ha ha!
And you wanted to bring the mood up.
Well, I think taking the piss out of PETA always brings the mood up, right?
Yeah.
But they PETA kill animals.
Yeah.
They euthanize a whole bunch of animals. Hundreds of animals a year, thousands maybe. And it's the same with these animal rebellion clowns. What they've probably ended up doing is causing the deaths of 3 lambs, and I'm glad that they handed themselves in, because at the very least they've stolen. At the very least they've committed theft. But my God, going right back, like you said, we'd take it right back to the beginning. These people are just idiots. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're talking about. And when you actually go deep on the causes that they purport to represent, they can't tell you anything.
No.
They can't. And then you get the people behind them that run things like the Just Stop Oil Twitter account, who are laughing their asses off because they're not the ones going out on the street and getting arrested.
Yeah.
They're sitting behind a Twitter account going, "Breaking news, our people have been arrested." Yeah. But not us, because we sent them out.
Yeah. These people they're just pawns. They're pawns.
Well, exactly. They are pawns. And they don't realise it. Because a lot of these people, some of them are paid. There are paid protesters and things like that. But a lot of these people genuinely think they're doing some good. They think they care. Because they've sat online all day, every day, consuming fear. Because it's all based on fear.
Yeah.
It's all fear. And there are people that run around screaming, "I don't have a future. I don't have a future. My future is burning," and things like that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But they genuinely believe it.
It's amazing how you can manipulate people into believing these things. And actually, this is something that Brent was touching on last night, and he said it was dangerous to manipulate people into believing things, right? But that goes both ways. Right?
It goes always, not just both ways.
Yeah, but it goes both ways, because the government manipulated people into believing things.
Yes.
Now, regardless of whether
I made that point.
Yeah, but regardless of whether they were right or wrong, you should not be manipulated into believing things. You should be given the information and allowed to make up your own mind. You shouldn't be steered. Therefore, to make up your own mind, you need access to all the information. So
yes.
You need it from both sides. You need good and bad. And then you can make a determination whether something's good or bad. Now, if these people who are spreading disinformation are wrong, then
Mm-hmm.
it should be obvious to even the simplest that their information is flawed, right? If you're looking at both
It
sides.
should
But
be.
if you're not allowed to look at both sides, you can't make a determination if it's true or not. So if you only get
exactly.
information from a single source, you have got two
Your
choices.
single source of truth.
Yeah, you have two choices at this point. You either believe it or you question it. And if you question it, there's nothing to argue against because you only have a single source, right? So you can't question it. So you can either believe it or you can become an outsider. You're no longer part of society because you have chosen not to believe in what society believes in. And
on that note,
is the dangerous and very insidious way that the governments have manipulated people over the last 3 years.
And on that note, I just want to remind people that these are our opinions.
Mm-hmm.
These are
Of course
our
they are.
thoughts.
Because you know
And
what, people? Go out and seek other sources and other opinions and make up your own mind. Because then
do not
you're
just believe us.
You're in a position to determine what's right for you and what's not. Because remember, what's right for you might not be right for me. What's right for Ben
There's
might
no
not
such
be right
thing
for
as
you.
one size fits all.
Exactly.
There's no one size fits all. We are all unique individual human beings. We all have our own minds, wants, thoughts, and desires. Go out and make up your own mind. Decide whether you want to believe the opinions that we espouse, or if
Fred,
you know,
either
because
got
even
to
me
come
and
closer or further away.
see, I've moved further away from the camera for you. You asked me to.
You what?
Have you seen? You asked me to move further away from the camera to see how it looked, so I did that for you about 20 minutes ago. There you go.
You moved further away from the camera.
Yeah, I have done, because
Yeah,
you said, "Oh, don't sit."
You've also gone up.
I'll sort it out. I'm just testing it, see how it looks. That's all I'm doing.
You know what? Maybe you should be testing these things when we're not live on air.
Maybe.
Maybe. But anyway, so there
DW says make your own mind up, as they say.
Make your own mind up. Yeah, do your own research. And don't let people put you off doing your own research, because that's been one of the things that MSN has been driving into people. Don't do your own research because you're not qualified to make up your own mind. Yes,
verified.
you are. But yes, you are. You are qualified to make up your own mind.
Yeah,
There is no difference. And you may call me idealistic or even wrong here, but there is no difference between you and a doctor, right? Other than the fact that they have had substantially more training, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have the same capabilities of reading, writing, interpretation, understanding, right? So if you put enough time into things, you can understand things at a level that allows you to make a determination as to what's right for you. And if you go to proper hospitals and doctors, they will always ask you what you want to do, because the decision is always yours and not theirs.
Correct.
Always yours.
Correct.
Because it's your body and you decide what to do with it. And this covers
on that note,
all diseases.
Yeah, and on that note, I think that might be a good place, a poignant place, to bring this down. Yeah. So, with that in mind, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You can scroll up the chat and find a link to the second channel. Make sure you are subscribed over there. Go and watch John's video about movie posters from hell and share it. Share the channel out. Share this channel out. Share this video out. And if you didn't watch my interview last night with Brent Lee, go back and watch it. Yep. Because I told you to.
And just for information, people, although you can only select 1080p. I actually stream at 4K.
He
We
does,
found that
yeah.
out today.
He does. That's why the connection between me and him right now is so shy. He looks
Yeah.
like a pixelated mess.
Yeah, but
Because all of his...
I look fantastic.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I. I'm looking.
Yeah.
I'm looking. And we look good.
Yeah.
We do look good. But that's the DSLRs more than anything else,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
That's the fact we're using proper cameras. Authority isn't the truth. Truth is the authority. Very poignant, Tony.
Very good,
poignant.
Tony. I like that. I like that.
I know we look good, that NDW.
And
I
that's
know.
why we do it.
Yeah. That is why we do it. I mean, this is a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
You're telling me.
And when we start actually making money off this hair and makeup, that's going on the clock.
Oh, yeah.
Going on the clock.
And no doubt you'll be billing me as well.
And on that note, say goodbye to the fine people, John.
Goodbye, fine people. Thank you for attending this Friday Nights All In with me, John, and with Ben. It's been great. For you.
For you! Bum, 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 bum.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to. Something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?